Okay, so today I'm going to be making a Halloween witch's hat card. And I got the idea from seeing this one online. It was somebody else's design, and I thought surely I could make that with my Cricut. And so I actually have come up with two different ideas. One is I kind of like call it a hybrid Cricut, and the other one is totally using the Cricut. So I'm going to give you some of the supplies and cartridges that I used. So first of all, I had gone to Archivers, and in their hotspot, they have a pack of cards for $1.99. There's 8 in a packet, and so I already got this witch's hat. And I thought, well, I could use that to make that card. And in doing that, I needed to make some things on the Cricut. And the first thing I needed, because in the original sample, they had some green cut out stars. And so I thought, how can I make those on my Cricut? And this is what I made. And what I did was, I had the Hannah Montana cartridge, and I'm sure you can do this if you want to just do a cluster of stars, because everybody has stars in all of their cartridges, and you could put them together by welding them. Or you can start with a couple of stars in one of your cartridges. And this one happened to be in the Hannah Montana one. And there was just half of the cluster that you see right there because I welded 2 clusters together. And this one was on page 69, and it was a shifted image. And it basically had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars in it to start. And then this cartridge also has just a basic star. So I kept adding stars and shrinking them and enlarging them and welding them together. And then, in fact, I even put some of the stars inside of each other so that they would be more like a stencil star. And again, this is what I came up with using that cluster of stars. And the next thing the original had on it was a flower. And I went ahead and used my Forever Young flower. And I cut it out in purple, and I cut it out in turquoise, and I cut it out in a light blue. And that would be my flower. And then I cut out this bordered square, scalloped square, and that was in the Accent Essentials. And what I did is I hid the inside line, and I came up with a square. The square is too large for the card, but I wanted to use it this way because I'm going to cut off the top part. Now that is what you need to make what I call the hybrid witch's hat. Now, if you wanted to also make one totally using your Cricut and a couple cartridges, you would use your mini monsters. And on your mini monsters, there is a hat, and it is on page 68. And actually, they actually have a card in here. But it's welded different than the way I welded mine together. I put it on top of each other, and they have one that folds to the side. So you can use the one that they have in there, or you can make your own welded one. And I went ahead and cut out the layers, and this is the layer 1, and this is the band and a circle in the star. Oh, I should back up and tell you. What I did do for this card is I hid all of the, they were kind of like embossed places to put stars and things. Now again, you can use the blackout, but if you use the blackout or the shadow, I think it's called the shadow. It doesn't have those images, but it's fatter, and I wanted mine to be slender. So I had to hide every single piece in the center, like the star and the circles. And like I said, this is layer 1, and that's what's going to fit on top of the star right up here at the top, and then the band. And then the other thing is there's also the Halloween is in this cartridge, and the Halloween cutout phrase is on page 74, and it's the shifted image, and I cut that out in purple. And then I did the same thing using the Hannah Montana star that was on page 69 in her cartridge, and I cut that out and only made it half the size. I didn't do 2 pieces together like I did this one. And then the other thing is I had this cut out from another project, It's going to be my flower instead of using the purple one. And I'm going to use this yellow circle that was cut out with this. The next thing is you need a random piece of green. And that's it. I'm going to put it together. Okay, so I just added the band of stars across the band of the witch's hat. And again, this is my hybrid card. And then for the first layer on my Cricut card, I put the first layer on, which is the band and the star. I just added my star band to my Cricut witch's hat. Okay, so I'm going to be making the Halloween piece that goes on top of the card. The original looked like that, and I am using this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the top of that off and I'm going to put that on my card. And then the other thing I did is I finished the Cricut card, and what I did was I put the flower on with the flower center, and then I added the Halloween that I printed on my computer and cut out, and that card is finished. And I'm going to go ahead and finish what I call the hybrid card. Okay, so I've finished both of my cards, and just to give you an idea of what you can do, I just wanted you to see them. Oh, one other thing I needed to tell you is I did cut the card out, the Cricut card, at 5 inches. And again, like I said, because I welded it together, it didn't take up as much paper as the one that they've got shown in the handbook, because the one piece goes to the side. So I just wanted you to see.